there friends, if you're new to my channel, my name's Nicole and I am uploading every day of December up until Christmas Day. That's why I'm wearing the same outfit that I've been wearing in the past few videos, because I've been filming these all at once. But today I'm here to do a 30 before 30 list because I realize this is like a really nice thing to have actually. I'm 23, I'll be 24 next September, and I just saw Lucy Moon, who's one of my favorite YouTubers, I'll link her down below, film this video. So I thought that it'd be fun to do my own. Also, can I say how much it freaks me out that Lucy's actually younger than I am, because she seems so much more older and mature and like with her life together. Just weirds me out, man. I have my list here, so I'm just going to go through them. They're not in any particular order, just kind of 30 random things. Number one is to have a proper apartment of my own. I've always lived in student housing or at my parents' house, so I mean, I would assume that before I turn 30, I would have to have my own apartment, if not my own house. The second thing is to see New York at Christmas time. I have so loved seeing London at Christmas time, and I hope that maybe one day I will be living in New York and we'll get to see it in the Christmas season whenever it's all decorated and I can see like the ice rink at Rockefeller. Like, it just sounds so cool. Number three is to have my own dog. Now, I really would love to get like a toy poodle, you know, the like brown ones that look like teddy bears, and name her Theodosia but call her Teddy. That's been my dream for years now. I also would love to have a King Charles Spaniel and call her Dash, him or her Dash, because Queen Victoria had a King Charles Spaniel named Dash, and that's what I've wanted since I was a little girl. So yeah, I definitely see a dog in the next 7 years happening. The next thing is something I'm hopefully going to be tackling in the next few months, which is learn how to properly use a DSLR camera. Now, I know how and I've done it in school, but I definitely could improve, and I definitely am not quite sure how to use one for filming. So this is a goal that I'll be checking off hopefully in the next year. Number five is to get my master's degree, which I am currently working on. I am almost a third of the way through. And this is another one. I feel like some of these goals are very oriented in the next few years, but I kind of have a difficult time thinking past that. I used to be someone who had like her whole life planned out, and then I had a lot of changes occur in what I wanted to do for my career, where I wanted to live. And so it's kind of made me live in the moment a little bit more, or at least only think ahead for the next like 3 to 5 years. But yeah, I want to get my master's degree. I mean, I hope that should happen. I'm working on it now. But I think that'll be such a nice thing to like have. Like, that sounds quite weird, but it's the kind of thing that I never really thought I would get. So I'm very excited to be able to say that I have a master's. The next thing is to interview one of my heroes. I've been doing interviews for Broadway World recently. I am a writer for Broadway World UK, and I've gotten to talk to some amazing people. And actually, this coming week, the week that I'm filming this, I am getting to interview one of my heroes. I'm going to be the videographer for an interview. So if that's already gone up by the time I post this, I will put a link down below. But it's kind of surreal. But in terms of my heroes, what I mean is, like, I would really love to one day get to interview someone like Eva Noblezada or Lin-Manuel Miranda, or people who have really inspired me and, you know, been a driving force in my life and in what I want and how I see the world. So that's kind of a new goal of mine. Number seven is to go on like a nice proper date, because I've never done that. I feel like that might be partially my age, because like at least at my school, not many people went on like proper dates in college, but hopefully that's something I will do in the next 7 years. Number eight is to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube. Obviously, it's hard to say if by the time I'm 30 I'll still be doing YouTube, but I hope at some point within there I will accomplish this goal. Number nine is to visit 3 European countries I've not been to before. Ideally, I'd like to say maybe 5, but I'm trying to be a little bit, you know, not too ambitious. I hopefully will be visiting Austria for the first time at some point in the coming year, so that'll be one checked off the list. And then I really would like to go to Copenhagen in Denmark. And I'm really open to other countries. I know my sister really wants to go to Spain, and I'd be super down for that. Number 10 is the first of my reading goals, which is to read Les Mis, the novel by Victor Hugo. I've read parts of it before, but I've never gotten through all of it, and that's the kind of thing that by the time I hit 30, I really want to have done. Number 11 is to speak French in France. So I have studied French for 11 years. I studied it all through middle and high school, and then I minored in it at university, and I've only been to France once, which was whenever I was 16. And I'm much more fluent now than I was then, obviously, but I've only really ever used it like in class or at Epcot in Disney World with the French people there. So I'm actually hopefully going to Paris in the spring, and I will get to, you know, actually speak French in France, which is crazy. Number 12 is another one that I hope is coming up soon, but it's to buy my blog domain name so that I will be a .com instead of a .blog what is it, blogspot.com. So that's another like short-term goal, I guess, but owning my own website seems like such a grown-up thing to do, so kind of a 30 before 30 thing. Number 13 is to visit Jane Austen's grave. I'm a huge Jane Austen fan. I love her novels. I love her characters. I feel like her work has been so formative for me as a person. I started reading her work when I was like probably 13. And so I really want to visit her grave. It's in Winchester, I believe, at some point before I turn 30. Number 14 is quite ambitious, but I really want to attend a movie premiere. I don't really know how I'm ever going to go about doing that, but I think it sounds like the coolest experience to have, so we're putting it out there into the universe. Number 15 is to work for a theater company. Now, I do write right now for BroadwayWorld.com, or Broadway World UK rather, but like to work for a proper theater company, whether that means working front of house at a theater or actually working for like a theater PR company or, you know, an actual theater company itself. This is what I'm hoping maybe to trick off within the next year, but it is what I want to do in life, so it felt like a good one to have on the list. Number 16 is very ambitious, and it's to get married. Earlier I said I want to go on a date. This is really ramping it up, but I would like to be maybe married by the time I'm 30 or engaged or something. It seems like a fairly normal thing to put on a list like this. Number 17 is to work in collaboration with a brand. Obviously this is a very like YouTube and blog related goal, but I would really like to do that at some point in the future, so I thought, you know, it belongs on this list. Number 18 is my next like site that I want to visit, which is the Hamilton Grange, which is Alexander Hamilton's house, which is in like up northern New York City. I think it's up in like the Harlem-y area, and I've never been somehow, so I really want to do that at some point. I don't know when I'll be back in New York, but definitely a goal for the next 7 years. Number 19 is to buy my parents and like my sister, my whole family, a nice meal. I have never really earned the kind of money where you go about like buying meals for people, but I hope at some point in the near future I will be earning money, and that's the kind of thing I'd really like to do because obviously my parents have given me so much and I would like to start giving back to them even in small ways like that. My next reading related goal is number 20, which is to read the Alexander Hamilton biography by Ron Chernow that Lin-Manuel Miranda read and was inspired to write the musical Hamilton. I've read parts of it, kind of like Les Mis, but I've not gotten through the whole thing because it really is a hefty biography, but I'm hoping at some point in the next 7 years, once I don't have school reading that I'm doing, I will be able to get through that. Number 21 is to send someone flowers because that seems like such a nice adulty thing to do and I've never done it before. Number 22 is to watch the BBC adaptation of Pride and Prejudice because I've tried to watch it twice before and I couldn't get through it, but it feels like the kind of thing that any Jane Austen fan should have done, so I really feel like I need to get through it at some point in my life. Also just like to get to the iconic Colin Firth Darcy scenes in it, so I'll do it at some point before I turn 30. Number 23 is to drive a long distance, and that probably sounds quite strange, but I only got my driver's license, I guess at the beginning of my senior year, so the beginning of last year, a little over a year ago, and I've mostly done like short distance drives thus far. I did drive from school home with my aunt in the car one time, which is about an hour, but I want to do that at some point. Obviously, I'm like in London right now. I don't have a car. I can't drive over here. So that's a much like later in life goal perhaps. But, you know, it feels like the kind of thing every American should do. Number 24 is to go to Disneyland again. I've been to Disneyland twice and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I love it so much. So I definitely want to return there at some point before I'm 30. Number 25 is to try Guinness. I'm afraid of Guinness. That sounds quite weird. I'm not a huge beer fan in general and I tend to like light, like pale ale type beers, but I feel like everyone has to try Guinness at some point, so I've always told myself that if I go to Ireland, I'll try it there where it's like, you know, the best thing, I guess. So I guess this is kind of like try Guinness and go to Ireland all in one goal. Number 26 is to learn how to French braid my hair. I love how my hair looks French braided, but I cannot do it on myself to save my life. I'm not even sure if I can French braid on someone else anymore, so that's the kind of thing that I would like to learn how to do maybe in the next few years. I just need to like sit down and teach myself. Number 27, kind of like trying Guinness, is to conquer another fear of mine, which is donating blood. Now, I really don't do well. I'm quite squeamish about blood being purposely taken out of my body. I don't mind, like, if I accidentally cut myself with my razor or something like that, doesn't faze me. It's blood in, like, vials that bothers me, but I know how important donating blood is. I've had several people in my family who desperately needed blood at different times and needed to get it, so I do feel like I'd love to give back in that way, but it is a big fear of mine to conquer, and I hope that within the next 7 years it's something I can do. Number 28 is quite an adulty thing, and that's to host a dinner party. I've never like had a nice apartment with a nice kitchen to have people over to cook for them, but I hope that that's something in the future that I can do before I turn 30. Number 29 is that I would love to speak on a panel at some point. Like, I don't even really know about what, maybe about theater at something like BroadwayCon, maybe about, I don't even know really, but it seems like the kind of thing that I would actually really enjoy. So, you know, putting it out there. And my last and final 30 before 30 goal is to read all of Jane Austen's work by the time I turn 30. Now, I've already read Pride and Prejudice several times, Sense and Sensibility, Emma, and I recently read Northanger Abbey for the first time, but I still need to read Persuasion and Lady Susan, which I believe is the unfinished novel. And am I missing one? I'm missing one. I can't even think of what it is. But I have a few more to go before I turn 30. I hope that you guys like this. If you would like to share with me 30 things that you'd like to do before you turn 30, or maybe just some of them, I would really love to hear them down in the comments below. If you like this, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content every day of December up until Christmas. I will put the links to my social media and to my blogs down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye!